Do you have your little friend with you too?
Oh, yes, he has. Yes, I have him in my pocket. If things go south, very south.
I like the idea that we were huddling for some warmth, and then who's ever sitting with Beatrice kind of goes a little. You have what? So okay,
She's used to it.
yeah.
As you pass by the village, you pass by what appears to be the northern parts of the village as well. Off in the distance, you can see what appears to be a rather large churchyard with a magnificent church from the 17th century.
Oh my God.
Off in the distance. You can see a small stone house not far from the church itself, and you can see the raven flying in through a window at the by the stone house.
Is this on the route, or is this away?
Yes, this is on the route to the northwestern part of the village.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
I'm a little bit intrigued. Again, I don't know if it is a matter of a learning role or not, because I would think my character that Otto would know a little bit about the local churches and the local the details. Have I perhaps heard anything about this church, or would there be something relevant for my character's learning to address?
I think that would be a learning role then.
All right. I don't know how Max keeps getting these 8 and 9 and 10 die rolls, but I am stuck with my little sixes.
I think I would like to help you in this.
Oh, excellent.
Because,
you are local too, yeah.
Elsa is a little bit concerned that this ringer from the church that you talked to earlier is up to something no good because of the bird.
Mm-hmm. Would this be logically speaking, would he be the bell ringer at this church?
Yes, it seems to be only one village church.
Okay.
Situated in the north.
7 dice then, with my helper. Right. And I have 2 6s.
Right then. What is always me? It's always good if I ask before the roll. But
I know you're right.
Was it about learning about what you call it, the local church itself?
Yes, the idea here is that this church may have perhaps an ancient origin, or perhaps that there is some kind of a raven myth in the area. You know, I mean, I have learned, of course, that in their ignorance, but sometimes in their wisdom, the locals tend to fold in older legends into their local church history, you know, into the local theology. That is something I have realized, Otto has realized is the case. So, and I'm very, very well familiar with Vaesen as, shall we say, observant members of the church.
Yes.
So
there is an old legend that there is a church grim guarding this church. Yes. Mm-hmm. There is also the tale that this church itself was founded by an order of Franciscans itself, the Poor Brothers of Christ, as they are formerly known. It's 2 6s, you said.
Yes.
All right then.
Okay, I will.
You've also heard that the chaplain of this church is called Algot Kransvik. It's a little unclear what kind of since you haven't met him in person yourself, though it is said that he does crown himself upon what is called the guest house itself, since he has been mentioned in the newspaper article as well.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Well, so if you have helped me, clearly we have had some slight discussion, and the question is whether we should risk some valuable time, considering the weather, in perhaps, engaging the powers of faith to aid us in the mission. That raven has been watching us. I know the raven has been watching us. I talked to it, and it listened to me. You guys didn't see that at the site of the first murder. So I know this, and that thing went in that little stone house. What's that?
Seems
If
to be
you
a small stone cottage. Oh, sorry. You know that.
if you think you will be able to talk to that man and convince him from the fact that we may not be as bad as he seemingly thinks all guests of the guest house.
Yeah. He looks like the kind of... go ahead, Magnus. Sorry.
Yeah,
Nathan.
I can try. I mean, if there is a sign saying that this guy is nice, if I go like a bigger, maybe he will be helpful.
Good thinking. Yeah, I think he doesn't like big city priests or vicars.
Yeah. And I don't really like you either, so
right. Fair enough. Yeah, I accept this. So if we so yeah, that sounds like not that you need my permission, but that sounds like a great idea, I think.
I mean, Magnus, not
I
me.
understand. It's okay.
Sorry.
I know. I'll put up a little sign saying what I think of you every so often. How's that?
Sorry.
Keep going.
Yeah, so I think Magnus is going to go close to the house and ask you to just back off so you're not in the plain sight. So, at least he can say he's alone or something like that. Okay. And yeah, I think he's going to knock on the door.
So Magnus is going over to knock on the door of the stone house.
Yeah.
All right. You can clearly see what appears to be a beautiful crucifix on the front door. And as you knock on the door, you see a rather friendly vicar opening the door.
Another one, oh dear. Okay.
Oh, hello there, young man. What is the matter? You can see a rather aged, around 70-year-old old man in the garb of a vicar. He has a rather reclining dark hair, revealing a rather big bald spot. Yes, young man. Oh, please do come inside. It seems to be rather rainy outside. What is on your mind?
I'm hungry. I'm lost. I'm cold.
He motions you inside. As before he closes the door, though, you can see a black raven taking flight and perching on his shoulder. He gives it a small little morsel and strokes it a little bit, saying that you're welcome. Me and Midnight was just about to have a little bit of lunch. Do come in, my child.
Oh, that's
nice timing.
Now that you're here, we can have lunch. That sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. He motions you inside and closes the door.
I think I will.
Are we like standing?
No,
seeing this?
we're completely around the corner. We are not involved.
I will make a sign.
Peeking inside the windows or something.
No, I don't think so.
We are very much
We are up the road.
outside, I'd say.
No, we are up the road. We are not on the ground.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay.
So if I do a sign, if I move, if I do a sign, you won't be able to see it.
Unless
the idea is like come closer, but I'm going to not occupy, keep him busy, so you can just come closer.
All right.
I don't know if you want to do that.
No, I think we're going to let you take the point on this and get the information.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, okay. he what do you call it, suggesting down at the table, and you can see him taking forth what appears to be some kind of bowl of stew of some kind, and it's piping hot. Smells of what appears to be vegetable and pork, and he what do you call it, sets the table in the meantime. It's quite rather frightful to be out in this kind of weather at this time of day. What were you doing outside, my son? Are you a traveler, perhaps?
Traveling, yeah.
Oh.
Should I tell him?
You really come to this village in quite the darkest hour, young one. The villagers are out now and about to trying to form a militia, it seems.
Yes.
Dark tidings indeed. I heard this morning that they found a woman in the woods. She has been called home to our Lord.
A woman? I don't know. I left the village because people started to look at me in a really mean way, and I was scared. So I left and just ran away before I got arrested and sent to wherever. I don't know. Some of my friends disappeared and they never came back.
Oh, come now. All brothers of the road are welcome here, my child. You're safe. You're safe around these here parts, young one. As long as you stay inside. It's still very rainy.
What is outside? What is going on outside?
There seems to be rather dark tidings that has befallen our village. The manner in which they found the remains of that woman, dreadful.
What happened? What happened?
I would spare you the details, my child, but he goes over on the old shelf and brings what appears to be some kind of dusty old journal from the shelf, taking it in his hand, saying, there are strange tales about these here parts. You see, he sits down by the table next to you. You know, help yourself to the stew, by the way. And would you like a glass of milk, perhaps? He says, asking if you're hungry and needing a bit of drink.
Yes, Magnus wants to eat, but
right.
Does he? Do you have wine instead?
He smiles at you. Aren't you a little too young for these here things? But I want you to roll a manipulation because you're a poor little boy coming off the road.
Okay.
I want you to roll a manipulation, empathy.
Empathy, so 4, 5, 6. Huh? Up my 6 dice. 1, 2 successes.
He smiles at you, saying, "These are rather dark times, and it's good to be inside on a night like this, and something to strengthen our soul in such a time." Yes, and you can see him picking up what appears to be 2 small glasses and a little bit of a communion wine as well. Yeah. He sits down.
Boy, it sure is comfortable out here in this wagon.
I mean, yeah, Magnus got used to, better standard of living with you guys.
He sits down next to you, saying, giving a sigh, as he seems rather worn, but eager to share some stories at least. I knew a good chef around these here parts by the name of Nicholas, who left his last belongings to me. He was a good man, but he knew a thing or two about the strange and unseen forces in this world. Tell me, have you learned your letters?
Sir,
He says.
No.
Oh, well.
I can barely feed myself, most of the days, so learning, reading was...
I've had my suspicions about what might be chasing after these poor women that the villagers have been finding around these here parts as of late.
But what happened to this woman? Sorry, Father, but I really want to know. I mean, I came from another city a few months ago, and I heard very disturbing story. I just wonder if it's somebody that is killing women from one village to another.
I think it's something that just ran through them, across their legs or something. I was pondering for quite a while about this old chef of mine, this old friend. He left me this note. He opens up the book, reading it aloud. You see here, he turns to one of the first pages saying, "When my sister was found dead with her abdomen slit open, this is what happened to the women,
Oh.
I stopped being a child and became an adult. It was an early New Year's Day, and my sister Else, you see these two children, they lived around these parts, these young ones. And this is the diary of him, the chef Niklas Jonsson from Svartorp. And my sister Else led the rest of us around the church, having heard that one could see the future by peeking through a keyhole. Something you should never try. We were playing with forces we did not understand, and the unseen punishes the arrogant," he reads aloud to you. "As we approached the church door, our path was blocked by the biggest boar I have ever seen. Its eyes glowed in the dark, its back was covered with sharp bristles, and its mouth was equipped with massive tusks. Else gathered an apple from her pocket and threw it on the ground, which made the beast forget about us for a moment, and we were all able to escape. But soon as we heard its hooves thunder against the ground behind us, suddenly Else, who had been running next to me, was no longer there. I stopped and I saw her walk toward the great swine, and then I ran as fast as I could. She sacrificed herself so that I might live. For many years I have collected," let's see here, it says, "rumors and tales about this creature whose name is the gloson. It is said to seek out witches and those with the sight, devouring their innards to absorb their power. I certainly hope you don't have the sight yourself, my little boy. Devouring their innards to absorb their power. But I have heard of people who escaped their fate by distracting it with, what it says, apples and nuts. Some say the creature can be controlled by a witch using a staff of linden wood. After what happened to my sister, I never go outside on a winter's night, nor do I let my children leave the home." This was the diary of Chef Niklas of Svartorp. He gave me lots of valuable information before he passed away, you see, and I've had my suspicions that this creature that this person killing these poor women might be one of them, gloson. The way they were found, slit from stern to head.
But the gloson...
It's a rather dark tale, but I think we're still safe inside, at least. Come here, come now. Have some of this, it will warm you up, it says.
But Father, do you know how to kill this beast?
I don't think so. Though I think the old Chef Johnson here had some interesting points, at least. Maybe you can learn your letters and try and read more of his. Come now, he says, handing it over to you. If you'd like to, this would be good material for learning how to do your letters. Make sure to contact the village schoolmistress, and she will learn your letters. I will see to it that you get it done, and that you can learn to read as well as write and do your ABCs and math as well. He basically, what do you call it, tries to take care of you and says that he can provide for you if need be, since he looks outside the window sometimes and seems a little, what do you call it, a little bit afraid sometimes. Oh well, at least young folks like you should at least learn to do your letters. Growing up and doing good. At least. Yeah. He seems rather, what you call morose, a little bit in his own mind, so to speak.
I'm going to try to convince him to drink more.
All right then. Yeah. Roll once more. Well,
because
one
I will
more
repay your
manipulation
hospitality by stealing your book and running off.
Exactly.
Roll one more manipulation.
Another manipulation? Okay.
Yes. One more empathy manipulation.
No success.
All right. He does feed his little crow, little raven sometimes, which is called Midnight. He sets it down on the table, and there's a small bowl made for Midnight as well. The little bird picking little spots and little raisins and things that he have left for him.
I think Magnus is going to ask about the raven, because usually, raven is bad omen. So why a priest of his quality and his kindness should have something like that with him?
The poor creature was wounded when he was little. You see, a few years ago, I nursed him back to health. He had fallen. I think he'd fallen from the church tower. Actually, he was rather hurt, and he was such a small, wee thing, And I tried to nurse him back to health. He's one of God's creatures, and he should be up sound and healthy in no time. And from that point on, he stayed with me.
It's a nice bird in.
Yeah, he's been one of my few companions here. He and the bell ringer